Hey guys, how's it going out there? Today we've got not so little of a project on the go. I went and picked up a tunnel extension cooler, heater, heat extension cooler, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, gonna change it out on my 858. So I've got it somewhat disassembled already so far. Kind of finished taking the rear skid out and track, drive shaft. We'll take the exhaust off, and the coolant reservoir's got to come out. Brake disc. I want to kind of see if I can come up with a update there for the floating disc that they had put on. See if I can put a shim inside here just to tighten it back up. Maybe it won't rattle so much at an idle. And yeah, it's going to be pretty extensive. So as you can see, we've got just a little cooler way up front. We're going to be cutting this guy here. I'm going to cut the top one off. Make some room for what we got to do in here. It'll be cut off here. Hopefully there's a gap in between. I'm sure there is. And then we'll have to weld it back on over here. This is what we got. TIG rods. Now I picked this one up from CR Racing in Kelowna, or by Kelowna, and was a little bit confused at first. What's going on here? So they blocked one side off and kept one side open. I wasn't quite sure, so I ended up phoning the guys, and he explained to me, well, it doesn't have to be open because obviously coolant's just going to flow through there, through the reservoir and back down. Obviously, makes perfect sense. So if you do open your package, you're like, hey, what the hell's going on here? It's supposed to be like that. It only makes sense. So let's get into it. Let's see what we can accomplish today. Hopefully we can get the skid taken out. Maybe even cut the cooler. Let's see. I don't know how long I got today, but we'll do as much as we can. So this here is a special socket. Well, I wouldn't call it a special socket. It's just a 4-pronged deal. It was a special tool I had made for some other past unit. It was a little too long, so I just shortened it up, welded it on. And yeah, we'll see how it's gonna work here. Get in from behind. You should be able to just back off that drive belt. There we go. Okay. So it's kind of funny. Go to back off this belt. Yeah, it's loose now, I guess. So it's loose. It's backed off as far as it'll go, only because the tightener. It's the bottom of the oil tank. All right. Okay, well, I guess it is what it is. We'll take this guy off and hopefully slide her out. Okay. Oh yeah, no problem. All right. Boy, is not sure a nice thing, eh? Sure looks cool. Cool. Stuff. This guy can come off, I guess, before it falls off and breaks. And there we go. All right, those 3 bolts are out. Now okay, so this should just slide off, hopefully. there. Now, you'll be able to pull this drive shaft out.
A few moments later.
There we go. Got it. Whew. That opens it up a little bit. Now let's clean that up and have a better look at what's going on up there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey. So this is where we're gonna have to cut. Now, looks like it would be completely open this whole way down.
You sure about that?
I was hoping like the new tunnel, it was just a part here and a part there. But I don't think I'm gonna get so lucky. See, there's different, not the straightest welds. So let's get the skid plate taken off. I think there's gonna be access to a hole. Where's it this guy taking us? Take this bottom guy off, and then you can get at the coolant hose to drain it. And then after we cut it, we're gonna have to do some pretty extensive rinsing in all this area. Rinse this whole cooler down. There's gonna be shavings in there that probably not gonna do a water pump seal any good. So if we can find a hole on the bottom, a hose, then I can take a, I don't have a garden hose out here. I don't have any running water in my shop, so that's gonna make life a little bit more entertaining. But I'm sure I can figure out a way to do it. Alrighty. Almost got her. Alright, this is where I screwed up. So, where are we at here? This bolt and that bolt were missing. Last time I worked on this thing. So I thought I was being smart. Yeah, just put new bolts in. But it just a tiny little dab of blue Loctite on them. And I think they're spinning out in the nuts now. Well, let's see if we can ramble them out. Yeah. Shit. Wasn't so smart after all. Oh well, I guess I'll cut them off and we'll let rivets hold it on from now on. That's super cool. Oh well, whatever. Grind it off, call it good. Alright, punch out a couple rivets. This damn thing stopping me. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. What the hell? Let me stop the ring now. Oh, okay. That guy's not doing any good. And this guy's not doing any good. Cha-ching! Let's straighten this piece out. While we're here, before we put it back on, what else we got in here from Treasures? Some Arctic Cat. Okay. Oh, it's kind of a neat thing. 30 amp fuse. Very interesting. Oh yeah. And here's the hose. So this guy here, we're gonna take this hose off. We'll drain the whole system. And that will be the hose we use to rinse out this cooler after we chop it off. Okay, yeah, I guess we'll clean up our mess and we'll drop some coolant. Might be enough. Yeah. Okay, now we got that draining. We can worry about out this coolant reservoir. We'll get this guy all taken off. Yeah, that's what I'm fighting with here. So it's this hose down in here. Yeah, of course. Comes off as soon as you guys want to watch. Oh well, that's okay too, I guess. Cut some of these zip ties off. There's a tie holding this black hose on way up there. Just pull it out of it. Yeah, just like that. Alright. And out she comes. Yeah, I have a long ladder. I'm just too lazy to go get it. Okay, so a slight change of plans. In a little different position here. Still using my nice hook up there to hold up the back end of the sled. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it from this side here. And only because, there you go. Only because this spigot for it is on the bottom now. And I'm going to use a grinder instead of a Sawzall to cut that. I can get a nicer cut with a grinder, and then it'll clearance itself wherever it needs, say on the tunnel. I'll be able to cut a nice line. I'll stay away just a little bit, and then I'll bring everything nice and straight up to it. Keep it all nice and good. And then also I'm going to put a vacuum on this side. Not sealed or anything, but I'll just put the hose of the vacuum over it. So then as I'm grinding, I know it's wet inside and shavings are just going to stick. But my theory is then all the dust will at least puddle down in this lower corner. Not up in this one where it could get trapped forever. So everything will be down on this side, and then it'll be easier for washing out as well. Everything will just flow straight down and then out this spigot, whatever doesn't get picked up by the vacuum. But I think that's going to be my plan for now. Just like that. You guys might not be able to make it out, but I'll stay just on this side of that line. And it should be pretty dang close to where it's got to be. Okay, let's rig up our vacuum, get our cutting wheel, and really commit to this. A little nervous, but nothing a welder can't fix. Or I'll just have to get a whole new one. Whatever. All right, she's cut. Let's, whoops. Looks like I forgot a spot just there in the corner. All right, let's get that cleaned off and have a look at the other side. Okay. Actually looks pretty dang good. Super happy with it so far. Let's drill these rivets out and get rid of that short piece of crap. Where's my drill? Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Oh yeah. So it is open all the way across. Just as I figured. Okay, well, that's not a big deal. Let's have a look here. Oh, well, would you look at that?
Oh, look at that.
There's no through hole all the way up to this point here. So it's only this little section here that's open. Oh, well, that's why they did that on that cooler. Oh man, I tell you. Thank God there's people in this world smarter than me sometimes. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll get in here. We'll stand it back up the way I had it before. And we'll just slowly bring this down so it's all flush here. And we'll mark it out for welding. Awesome. That is just super cool. Happy this is all working out. So I thought I'd start cleaning it up. Kind of tight quarters in here for anybody to see what's going on, but thought I'd point this out. Just a small little piece of slag from cutting. Make sure that doesn't end up down the hole. Otherwise, you'll be digging out all sorts of stuff. Or it could come dislodged and really get stuck in there. Alright, let's see if I can prop you guys up here and see what I'm doing. Another little piece of garbage come off here. Pull this top guy off so that it doesn't get stuck in anywhere. piece here. And I suppose I could probably turn my vacuum back on too. Got some good suction there. That's always good. Sorry if this is gonna get loud. Okay. So I got my light set up on the other side there. Oh, look at this. Another little tiny piece of garbage. All right. Let's just see how close I am as a rough start. Switch up positions here a little bit. Okay. Not bad, little bit of a gap. There, not terrible. Just ever so slight little gap of light coming through there. But I think that's pretty dang close. I'm quite happy again with that. Looks like on this side. So it does show a little bit of the old weld. It's not quite flush, but I wanted to leave a little bit of room on the bone, meat on the bone there. We'll take a die grinder and open this hole back up a little bit. And just in case when I get that cooler on here, it needs to be adjusted just a little bit. Now I could also take that cooler and even just touch the end of it in certain little spots just to get it nice and tight along the whole way. But I think that's gonna work just nice. Let's get a die grinder and open that up right now before I forget. Okay, that's looking a lot better there. Opened up a little bit. It's pretty thin on this bottom edge, so I'm going to leave a little bit of this weld attached. Give me a little bit more room and material for TIG welding it all together. And I think I am going to be ready. Try putting that cooler up. So there's first trial. Actually, it's not the first trial. I lied. I did have a little bit of help last night. Got the wife to come out, help hold up the end, just to make sure I could test fit it, trim it, and get it fitting pretty snug. Got it pretty dang close to center. From what I can measure, I think it's close enough for me. Now I'll show you guys what's going on here. Alright, so there is a little bit of a gap there. I'm sure I'll be able to fill that pretty easy. This side here, I did have to grind down. I ground this end cap off just a little bit. It seemed to be sticking out a little bit proud for it to be sitting in the middle. Nice there. It was gapped away here just a little bit. I wasn't scared about grinding too much down on this one. because I'm going to be welding all the way around it anyway. So it'll just add to more strength. If I did happen to bring it back a little bit too far, I'm sure it'll be fine. So here, like I say, it is gapped away a little bit. Getting in this corner is going to be super fun. But I don't know if you can see. There is just a tiny little hole here from the intercooler. Now, like I say, I could push it over. Yeah, it seems to push over pretty decent, actually. I thought maybe it would kind of fight me a little bit too much. So we'll just have to make sure we line that up so there's no little hole there. I thought what I could do is just weld the intercooler, heat exchanger a little bit, just to close that gap off so I'm not trying to fill a hole in such a tight area here. But I think that'll work just slick, just like that. Lines up with the old divider there. I'm sure I'll be able to fill that crack. Tighter the better, obviously, in this case, but I think that'll work just fine. I may have to run a little bit of a weld on the heat exchanger here, a little bit, just to build it up before I commit to welding this guy on. But yeah, everything's looking good. Now what I will also do is just die grind the tunnel out here a little bit, create little pockets, just so the guy's got lots of room to get in with the TIG torch. And same with this side here. Just carve the tunnel out a little bit. Give a guy lots of room in case he can try welding it from the top. It's probably not going to work very well, but I think it's revealed back enough to do the flats on the top. Let's check that out. Okay, so that's what it looks like on top. We're probably 3/8 of an inch back there. I'm sure that'll be fine. And also what I want to do when I'm done, just put 2 little rivets here and here. Just to keep that from vibrating. And I could also put a little piece on top just to help hold it down and fill in that gap. Oops, sorry. Fill in this gap here instead of filling it with silicone. I'm sure silicone will be just fine too, but it is quite a bit. So, yeah, that's it. A little filler plate there. Weld those up. But first, I'm gonna have to do my best to rinse this guy out. So I got my little pump fire extinguisher. Since I don't have running water, it's the only thing I can use right now. I want to just spray it out the best I can. I got my little tub here to catch, just to see if there's any filings that land on it, and then I'll know if I'm making any ground. But the more I think about it and looking at it here, the hole comes out here. I would think it actually is passing by through over here, going down, and then out the spigot into the motor. So me having it on the side was just more of a convenient thing. I don't think the coolant level would just go straight down. You know, I'm sure they would have crossed it over because there's a big weld line here. So we'll do the best we can to get in there, spray around, rinse it. Even if I have to plug that off, fill it with water, then dump it quick, maybe that'll help flush stuff out. And then we'll be able to see what kind of garbage comes out of it. Okay, I'm gonna get this guy removed, get set up, we'll rinse her out. Okay, so I forgot I needed to make little reliefs here to weld the side of the tunnel, side of the cooler. So hopefully I've carved out enough there all the way down that I can get in. And I think I'm ready to start trying to flush that cooler. So let's see how we make out here. Let's get our A little catch tray. Water was pretty dirty coming out. Cleared up a little bit now. Water everywhere. That was awesome. Oh yeah. You guys can see lots and lots of shit that come out of there. So what I'm gonna do now is I've let it sit a little bit. I'm gonna give it one more go. Already went and rinsed out the heat exchanger itself, made sure it was all nice and clean. And I'm gonna rinse this out one more time. I'm gonna get it placed. And then maybe I'll see you guys when I'm ready to weld it up. It's all cleaned up and prepped, wiped down, de-oiled. Should be set up for success. Now what I'm gonna do is just try to get into some of these corners. Just put tacks on them for now. See how it's gonna go. And then maybe just weld the top out completely. And then once the top is all welded out, then I'll roll it over on its side and finish up the bottom. Alright, let's see how this is gonna go here. That. Try to get it a little bit better here. Better. Interesting. Knew that was going to happen eventually. fucking cut it. Well, I'm not very proud of it quite yet, but I think I made a little error. I thought there would be enough room back here, but I'm having a hell of a time getting shit stuck down to the cooler. So I'm gonna go in there with the die grinder and gouge it out, clean it up, and try it again. But it's somewhat stuck there, and I got those two corners tacked together. That was the first part that I hit the tungsten with the aluminum rod. Poor positioning. But it'll come and it'll stick together. Doesn't have to win beauty contest, but I'm gonna try to make it look as best as I can and as strong as possible. So I'm gonna get in there and gouge it out. It looks like a couple spots are gonna have to touch up, but it actually doesn't look too bad. So I'm gonna get in there and smoothen it all off. I'm gonna have to clean up this corner here a little bit. My torch needs to be the small one so I can get in there a little better. But hopefully I can just put a big enough gob there in the corner so that I can get it from the other end. But it's definitely tricky. Clean this guy up a little bit here as well. See if I can bring it out a little bit more. Try it again. Also, I'm trying a pointed tip instead of a bald tip. See if I can get that arc to focus a little bit better where I need it. Yes, I have done this before, just making up excuses, that's all. I can't use this welder. I know it sounds like I'm making up excuses, but the problem with it is it's just an Econo TIG. Now it doesn't have AC balance, so I can't balance anything in order to clean that weld. And no matter what I do with the filler rod, I've tried scuffing it, then I wipe it down with acetone, get it nice and clean, but as soon as I touch that filler rod to the puddle, it just dirt. All you see is freaking dirt, and it doesn't want to stick. Now I can't help but think it's not the rod. It is 53-56 aluminum rod, so just not having any AC balance sure makes it hard to stick aluminum. I'll have to load it up and take it to the farm. We've got a synchro wave miller. Just a little bit better options, and then I have no more excuses after that. shitty.
The next day.
Way much more better. Oh, just night and day. Might not look like much on the camera, but boy, do I tell you, that looks way better.
Stretchy rubber tape here for electrical things. Works kind of
Made our own little short head. Cut the tip off, so now we just got to seal the hole up so I can get into a tighter area. Do it long-handed. It was pretty hot actually, but it's just because everything was slumping down. So we got this top, that top. This one here's got a little bit of a crack in it. Gonna have to try to fill it in best I can. I think that'll be okay. Alright, I'll call that one good too. Nice. Well, that's it, that's all. Only thing left to do is pressure test and call it good. Might not be very pretty, but it'll work. So I do have a couple leaks. One there, I must have hit it with something. And then over here,
shitty spot.
it is a shitty spot, yeah. It's all shitty. And check over here. Let's get those two cleaned up. Got one patched. Just a little tiny guy. Beside it there. This one seems to be okay. Oh boy, it looks like shit from this side.
Just 15 that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. 16. Holding on the gauge now.
Looks good here. Cool. We'll let that sit over lunch. There's still a fucking little hole there. There is too. Ah. Let's see the gauge. Yeah, 16 and a half, whatever. Alright, see if that holds over lunchtime.
Can you spray her at the top here?
Sure.
No, you want this?
I don't. Every time I spray, I find another hole.
I think you got her, eh?
Well, we let it sit over lunch. Come back. What are we sitting at for pressure here? We left and it was about 16 and a half. And still sitting about 14 pounds. I expected it to drop a little bit just while everything cooled back down. Obviously, it's going to contract a little bit. But I think I'm quite happy with the results here. So, doesn't look like any new bubbles there. Burnt shit there. Might not look like much in the camera, but I'd say the welds look better in person. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody's gonna criticize the welds anyway, so I guess. Well, there she is, back in her home. Like I say, we're gonna have to do something about this gap that's in the front here. But I think what I'm gonna do is, on the bottom side, I'll just bend up a small little piece of aluminum to step down over these, and I want to put a rivet back here anyway. So we'll just make a little piece of step down fill it in the best we can. Not get it too tight, but just give it a less hole, and then I'll use some good aluminum tape on the top side. I'm sure that'll seal it up just fine for what it's gonna have to do. And if too much snow still gets in later on, well, I guess I'll pull the tank off and deal with that problem later. But I think we're ready to start drilling some holes, rivet this baby down, and seal her up. Cool. Now let's do something for the front. And there we are. Little tighter gap, just these on the ends, but not too worried about that. The centerpiece is nice and tight now. Sweet. Let's get some aluminum tape, seal it up from the top, call it good. Just like that, way easier than taking it off. Well, let's start filling her up. I got the tank and everything put back on, spent some time tying all the hoses up, getting everything put away. Got the belt drive on so I can get the exhaust on. Hopefully it doesn't have to come off again. Yeah, I guess we'll go for a quick start. We'll give it a quick heat soak, get things circulating, and then I'll let it cool down all night and do it again tomorrow. Yeah, let's get her done. Well, I'm gonna call it there. Getting pretty hot back here. Can't even really hold my hand on it, so that's a good sign. And we'll just let it sit overnight. Hopefully that level goes down, but if not, that's a good thing too. I do have two codes, a U0155 and a U0165. And the 155 says it's a miscommunication with the display, which is weird because it obviously powered on. So maybe it's just got something to do with start. U0155 and U0162. I'll have to look up what those are, get them patched up. But so far, I just put this under there so that I could see if anything dripped that was new. And looks pretty dry. Don't see anything dripping underneath there. Oh, I do. On this one hose clamp here. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on there. Thought I had fixed it earlier. But that's easy enough to do. I gotta take the exhaust back off. Forgot to tension the belt. So, whoops. But that's okay. That'll give me a chance to look at that hose as well. And as far as I think about putting the skid in, I'm probably gonna leave it out. I ordered new running boards, so it'll just be easier putting that back piece back in. I ended up getting Ice Age rails, the bomber ones, with the new piece for aftermarket rear bumper. So I'll leave all this the way it is for now. Leave the suspension out until those come in. I'll make another video on that, so if you guys are interested on seeing the Ice Age running boards, be sure to tune in, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do there, or just tune in after I upload the video. Anyway, yeah, we'll let this sit tomorrow until tomorrow, and we'll check in then. Okay, guys. Well, here we are for the last time. Coolant level dropped a little bit, not much. So that means I got hopefully most of the air out. Now, I did finish putting my bag on, the battery in, retighten the belt cover. The leak that was dripping underneath seems to be dry now. Sorted itself all out, which is good. I'll just have to keep an eye on it. I gotta still fix those two bottom bolts and put the skid plate and crap back on, but this video is getting pretty long, so I'll probably end it there. I might throw in a couple of these other odds and ends in when I go to do the running boards in. Put them on. If you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, let me know. Hit that like button, whatever. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed what you've seen today. If you stuck it out this long, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. And yeah, maybe we'll see you guys on the next one.